If you are near the Guadalupe River in Kerr County, Texas, you need to get out.
Good evening. They say they were told to target people of color while on the job.
We took no action on any of the items discussed.
There was only one family that was out. Nobody else answered.
Are they going to get out?
They said they would.
Okay, this water's going to keep going up.
Holloway was arrested last week, fired from his job, and charged with 2 third-degree felonies and 1 Class A misdemeanor.
This is probably the worst weather event that I've ever covered here. And I have one person.
Doesn't just go between musicians. We are connected to the radio stations, the DJs.
She posted that was kind of near Junction, and she posted that around 4 or 5 in the morning.
Not the venue. I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm going to ask you to leave.
Okay.
Stop watching this video, call them right now and tell them to get out, because this is looking worse than...
Three inches of rain here in Center Point last night. Take a look at that dam. Yeah, look at all that water. Bring it on, Hill Country. Give us some rain. McBeastie out of Center Point Dam on the Guadalupe. We're Rev FM.
In the hills of Texas, everybody knows where to turn for breaking news. Especially in Kerr County. Population 50,000. A place where everybody knows everything about everybody. Or used to.
And Mike Taylor out here live in Kerrville, Texas for your Monday morning madness out here. We have a situation out here where a veteran has not been able to get a scooter that the veteran needs. Can you tell us some information about this?
Well, he served 22 years in the military as an air traffic controller. When he retired, because he didn't get hurt in the military, the Army has given him more or less the boot. They spent 2 years trying to fix his foot, and he ended up losing it because of their stupidity, their ignorance of not knowledge. After that, he tried to apply for a scooter. He was denied. Told $3,000 will get it for you. He's on Medicare and TRICARE for life. He's missing half one leg and got 2 toes taken off the other leg. And he's still trying to get help to get a scooter. He can't get it. Nobody wants to give him. They always tell him, oh, well, you got to go here. And then they say you got to go there. It's the pass the buck game. And I'm tired of it.
So basically, let's see if we can come together as a community and get her dad a scooter.
Where people tune into the same radio station every morning. Or did.
2 on, I guess.
Oh, turn it off! Turn it off! Frykowski, what are you doing? Tell me, turn it off!
Talking about an over-exaggeration.
Oh, my goodness gracious, man.
Did you even get zapped by it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you got zapped,
Oh,
Frykowski.
I got zapped, man. Look, you feel it right there.
Here, hit him again. I don't think he got zapped.
Oh, all right. Turn it off!
And over the course of a decade, one voice could be heard up and down the FM radio dial.
So Carlita the giraffe did not like cameras, but we did get her to eat a cookie out of my mouth. Well, let's get to the important part, naming the baby giraffe.
And during the years when it couldn't, a breaking news empire was being built out of nothing but pure grit. Mike Taylor, host of the Mike Taylor Morning Show on 99.1 Mike FM, owner of Golden Hills Marketing, LLC, DBA, Kerrville Breaking News.
It seems like the government is at work on a holiday, which is, this is a pretty big deal with this Nelson thing. Seems to me like there is a very, very big cover-up, but we're going to let you decide.
Mike's social media assets, owned by his LLC, kept growing, with over 100,000 combined group members and followers.
Luckily, we don't have to see these kinds of
and a harvest from years of hard work that others would kill for.
National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning. So you need to get your children away from all windows, family members away from all windows, and get to the center of your house and hunt. So okay. So let me do something real quick. Oh man, that was some bright lightning. God, that scared the crap out of me. Jeez, that was loud. This is, yeah, Susie, you were right. This is definitely some scary thunder and lightning here in Kerrville. I've never seen it like this before. Mother Nature has a mighty wrath, and she's showing it tonight in Kerrville, Texas.
Mike grew up hearing commercials for a school called Broadcast Center, and on one day, wrote down the number and gave them a call. A year later, 3 months after his son was born, Mike was ready to take a leap of faith. In 2011, Mike Taylor walked into Ranch Radio Group looking for his big break in radio. He walked out with a sales job. He moved his family closer to his wife's family. He had just finished a basic HTML web design class and wanted to figure out a way to get on air and do a technical makeover where he worked. He told them, "Give me 2 months. I'll build you 3 websites. If I can't do it, kick me on down the road." He went home every night and stayed up as late as he could and taught himself web development from scratch. Joomla first, then WordPress. He delivered all 3 websites on time, then phone apps with title artist data by the end of 2011.
Download the River iPhone app now at theriver1061.com.
The River 106.1.
They made him IT manager, then assistant program director, then operations manager. And somewhere along the way, they put him on the air. Sports first, then weather, then afternoon drive, then mornings on a show called The Morning Morons, then the Daybreak Show on their biggest signal. Mike would go on to do middays at the classic rock station in town, under the name McBeastie, and then started doing weekend shifts at 99.5 KISS in San Antonio, and commercial production during the week. And yeah, he built websites and phone apps for the classic rock station and would help the engineers at KISS with their digital challenges.
You see this bat? This is a worth bat, and it's going to go in your worthless little head.
In 2016, Mike got fired from the classic rock station after quitting the San Antonio gig to focus on Kerrville. He was working on a deal to acquire a local radio signal, but was betrayed by a potential investor and fired before he could explain what he was trying to do. In 2016, Taylor launched the Edge Rock Radio, an internet streaming station.
And welcome. Yes, Friday is the day. Let's go ahead and turn off this on the Edge here. Give you something like this.
Clown music?
Yeah, just 24/7 clown radio.
Just 24/7 clown music.
Catch me if you can.
See, that's scary.
See, this is more Russian music. Catch me if you can.
Whoever's listening to this might be a serial killer.
I lost my dolly.
That's what we do. You know, it's our new tracking device to try to find serial killers.
Oh, you just find people that listen to the clown radio.
When they listen on the phone apps, you know, the creep.
Yeah,
we
on
just
the creep.
we just track their IPs. You know, and then we can find them, we pinpoint them, and get another creep off the street.
Is the next radio station just straight infomercials?
It is.
Oh. Here we go.
Welcome to the Ville.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
That's awesome, guys. Well, yeah, we have launched the Ville. It is a rap and hip hop station. I guess I'm the music director.
Yes, you are. Awesome. Yeah, so this is actually the station here. And this is actually the Ville that's on right now. Let me go ahead and skip this over here. There you go. That is at theville.us. There are Android and iPhone apps. Just type in the Ville Kerrville into Android or iPhone, into the App Store, and you are set. So you got the Ville 24/7.
In 18 months, he grew it from 200 followers to over 30,000. On February 16th, 2018, Taylor formalized everything. Golden Hills Marketing LLC, a Texas limited liability company. The operating agreement was clear. The intellectual property contributions included the Edge Rock Radio website, Facebook page, contracts, and all digital assets, as well as Kerrville Breaking News website, Facebook page and group, contracts, and all digital assets. Kerrville Breaking News, a Facebook group where locals could share information in real time. Breaking news, weather alerts, road closures, missing persons, emergency communications. Kerrville Breaking News exploded. In a county of 50,000 people, this group by far was the most active group in the area, with hundreds of comments on posts every day for several years. Then Mike rebranded the Kerrville Breaking News Facebook page to Texas Breaking News, 46,000 followers, reaching millions weekly. From a laptop and a dream, with no investors, to reaching millions, sometimes daily, in just a few years. Mike Taylor had built an empire. In early 2020, Mike was also working on getting his real estate license. He forgot to send in a franchise tax form, and Golden Hills Marketing LLC was changed into forfeiture status by the Secretary of State. He went through the steps to be cleared for reinstatement and was issued a letter just 4 days after he stepped into his magic as the morning show host of 99.1 Mike FM.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
3, 2,
I can't hold this and do it because I'll drop it.
You got me again, Radkowski. Wow. You got me? Oh, my God.
He decided to hold off on reinstating. No plans to wind up or shut down. His empire would be safe this way, while he would use it to help someone who was a few bad months away from going out of business.
It's really good when you get the wings flapping.
Well, if you, I can get air to go in that hole.
I said if you scared him, it's
Oh, sorry. Hey, when I ask you what your name is, say Nunya.
Oh yeah, Nunya, that's right.
But they didn't go out of business. Mike Taylor brought on 10 sponsors within a few weeks. And within a few months, his morning show was sold out and stayed that way the entire time he was there. While making sure to take care of the smaller local businesses, Mike would go for big deals and land them. He brought Jam Broadcasting their biggest client ever in October 2021. By this time, they were also telling listeners to tap that Jam Broadcasting phone app, had a completely redesigned website, were doing crazy promotions with the public, like the Shop Local $5,000 giveaway. Every morning, Monday through Friday, Mike Taylor woke up the hill country. In a news article, Justin McClure stated, longtime Morning Mayhem show host, Mike Taylor's programming was so popular that we put the plan on hold in regards to changing formats. The format change Jam Broadcasting had been planning for years, delayed, because Mike Taylor was too valuable to put on a smaller station. Taylor wasn't just an employee. Taylor was their number 2 salesperson. Taylor built their complete digital infrastructure, CRM systems, websites, phone apps. Taylor made them money. And while working full-time at Jam Broadcasting, Taylor continued running the news platforms: Kerrville Breaking News, Texas Breaking News, the emergency communication lifeline for the entire Texas Hill Country region. Everything was working. In November 2021, a decision was made. Before she announced this decision, she talked to Jam Broadcasting and heard Justin McClure tell her that he would beat anybody's ass who said a word about it. On December 9th, 2021, Mike Taylor came out publicly as transgender. She chose the name Michaela. Nothing missed a beat. In the summer of 2022, she was interviewed by NPR, shared her story, became visible. It ran hundreds of times nationally.
For someone who's transgender, their journey is typically complicated. Transitioning is a huge step, and it's even more daunting in a small town when you're a local celebrity.
Morning Mayhem!
And you are locked into the Morning Mayhem, and this morning, good morning, Michaela here in Redkowski, and we are here to keep you
Meet
entertained.
Michaela Taylor. Taylor is the host of the Morning Mayhem Show on 99.1 Mike FM in Kerrville, Texas.
With you on this great Thursday morning.
Every weekday morning, Taylor and co-host Radkowski run a humor-driven morning radio show.
Door number 2 coming up here, as well as your stupid 9 o'clock jokes. Keep it locked on 99.1 Mike FM.
Michaela is married, and between her and her wife has 5 children. And she's about 6 months into her hormone replacement therapy after announcing on social media and later on the air that she is a trans woman. Michaela's journey with gender dysphoria began at an early age, but in her teen years, things got worse.
And my body was making changes that I wasn't comfortable with the changes. And I was told before then, before I hit puberty, that my body would be making these changes. And it didn't sound very appealing to me when I was told that. And then they started happening. And that's when everything just kind of got out of control.
She struggled with her feelings. She turned to alcohol and drugs. At one point, Michaela considered suicide. Then there was the first time she tried on women's clothing.
It was complete euphoria. I finally felt complete. And that was the first time in my life that I'd ever felt like that. I felt like I saw myself more in the mirror. That was actually me and not what I had become.
In 2021, Michaela told her wife about her feelings before she made the decision to transition. She asked her wife, Chelsea, to go on a girls' trip to San Antonio.
I wanted to go to the Riverwalk. I wanted to go to different places in San Antonio. I wanted to go where nobody knew me, where nobody would know who I was, and just walk around and be free and be myself.
Chelsea went with it.
We kind of went shopping, and she's like, I want to buy some female clothes for myself. And I was like, really? Like, is this, something we're doing? And so she did. She bought some female clothes for herself.
It was that night out that convinced Michaela to transition.
And I just said to myself, I'm a trans woman. And I felt an instant sense of relief. My shoulders dropped. They'd been tense for 20 years or whatever.
Chelsea has embraced Michaela's transition.
As far as me and Michaela go, I married her because I love her. I love the person she is. And, it doesn't matter if she's a man or a woman. I'm going to love her just the same.
Chelsea has seen Michaela begin to change.
She's a lot more emotional, that's for sure. Like things that, with the kids, like I would get emotional over like, oh, it's the first day of school, it's the this and that. And, before it wasn't really a big thing to her. And now it's, she gets emotional about that stuff right along with me.
Then came going public. Her bosses were supportive. On her morning show, before she officially came out, Michaela and co-host Radkowski began to occasionally reference her transition.
The only time you have not given Coach the Employee of the Month is when you first started the Employee of the Month. You awarded that to a Mike Taylor.
Yeah.
Who's no longer with the company.
Kerrville, population just over 23,000 people, is a fiercely conservative town. About 75% of voters went Republican in the last presidential election.
I expected to
have to pack my family up and move out of town. You know, Kerrville is a very conservative area. I was expecting the rocks and beer bottles.
But the community has embraced Michaela. Kelsey Wallace is a longtime listener of the show.
I thought it was the coolest thing to know that this is how Michaela has felt for so many years. I was glad to be a part of the whole coming out story.
Despite the support from community and radio listeners, Taylor said there was one casualty in her relationships. After seeing a picture of Michaela wearing makeup, her father stopped talking to her. I'm Jerry Clayton.
On September 7th, 2022, during Michaela's show, The Morning Mayhem, Toby Appleton appeared on a game show, Hero or Zero. If you lose, you have to spin the wheel of torture, and you may get shocked.
You might want to play this morning. I'm going to give you some insight. So Angelica's not on my good side right now.
Why?
Uh-oh. Because she refuses to do the radio station on campus.
I knew it. It was after I said that he changed his tune.
So there's a very, very good chance, Rad, that you are going to destroy her this morning.
Now wait a minute. Let me back up just a little bit.
Shock collars come out and.
That's why he was offering me shock stuff, huh? He's like, please.
All right, so wait a minute here. So I'm thinking about this.
Is this Dr. Phil? I'm hearing.
I am going to get a little Dr. Phil here because at about 8:45 this morning, Angelica tells me that she's probably not going to stay for Hero or Zero this morning. So did this conversation happen before or was it after?
No, this
happened when he walked in.
She just told me this now. I'm not doing the radio show on the campus. And I said, okay. That's pretty much how that went.
You just told him that out of nowhere? Did you ask her, Toby, if she was going to
I did.
Okay.
Because it's part of the internship.
Right.
You know, we provide these great opportunities for these wonderful Shriner students to intern with Jam Broadcasting.
Okay, if we're gonna get T out, okay, I have not been communicated with this whole internship about doing the radio station. Kayla has. So I just became indifferent about it and kind of just moved on in a way. So that's my side.
Bartkowski, what do you have to say about this?
Brad, you want to come run the radio show on campus?
He's got to watch his grandma, Toby.
Well, that's not until from 10 to 6.
He's grandma's
Toby
boy.
Appleton was the marketing director at Shriner University. 6-figure salary, senior leadership at a prestigious local institution.
All right, we're asking about you want to run the radio station over at Shriner?
From 8 to midnight.
Can't.
8 to midnight.
I wish I could, but
it would have been your shot.
I know.
Would have been your big break, Radkowski.
I wish I could, but
yeah, I gotta watch my grandma. He says.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
She got run over by reindeer or what?
No.
And he was clearly angry.
Ever since my grandmother just took a tumble at
She's
church.
being a little stingy little bitch.
No, Michaela, shut up.
She's not into gymnastics, right?
Michaela's intern, a college student from Shriner, had declined to do a Wednesday night radio show, and Toby did not like that.
That's just a zero for me. I mean, really?
See, I would disagree with this. I would go.
So I'm going to do the 2X Ultimate Zero.
During the game show, Toby was the ultimate decision maker, and he made his feelings clear.
In my book.
All right, so what did you go, Rad?
I just went plain Jane Zero.
All right, so we have plain Jane Zero and 2X Ultimate Zero. And Angelica, real quick, if I can just say something real quick. Angelica is right on the money with her 2X Ultimate Zero. I know you're not the happiest with her right now, Toby, with everything, but I mean, she has a pretty good point there. So I just want to say that. Just want to point that out real quick.
You know, I did. For one, just ooh.
Yeah,
and two,
it's nasty. Yeah, crappy.
And two, you know, it doubles the time. It doubles the time.
Doubles, yes.
I'm going zero on that one.
All right, so it's going to be -2 for Angelica this morning. Okay.
0.
Toby.
Yeah, no.
Michaela was clearly protecting her intern.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that your final answer, Toby?
Wait, you didn't even give me a time. Look, I'm going Hero because, look, I surf Facebook and I watch YouTube. So, yeah, Hero.
Okay, I do want to say something about Angelica and the Shriner radio station on Wednesday nights, okay? I do want to say that she's doing 2 internships at 2 different places. She's also a full-time student and has a full-time job.
That's awesome.
So it's just kind of tough for her to get to that on Wednesday. I'm trying to...
Yeah, I'm going to go with 0 because that's pretty low for car repair. I don't believe that. They usually jack up the
Yet,
prices.
every decision, every ruling against Michaela's intern, trying to make her spin the wheel of torture.
You didn't give me a minute. You just said Rad, and then you just went. You gotta say hero or 0.
Yeah, Toby. So for Rad's sake, hero or 0 this morning.
So it's I gotta go 0 because it's $300. I mean, like imagine if it was a Ferrari. The paint alone's like $2,000.
Angelica, hero or 0?
All right, yeah, 2X Ultimate Hero because as they should. They're allowed to judge you.
Okay, 2X Ultimate Hero on that one. Toby, hero or 0?
What'd you go, Rad?
I went 0.
0?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like bananas. They have potassium. And people
Why are you saying with Grandma's boy every time?
People are just judgmental.
What about the time it has to take for them to ripe, and then like the split 50 seconds until they're like gone, like they're brown?
All right, 3 to -2. Rad has the lead this morning. All right, 0. Okay, so
both losing points.
They're both going to go back. Rad's going to go back to -7, and Angelica's going to go back to -12 this morning. So
10X Ultimate 0 because somebody could have died or hit a dog.
Think about what would have happened to that dog if there was an accident and the dog, nobody cares about the humans, but think about the dog and what would have happened to that dog.
And the stray cats.
That poor dog, yeah.
And the wild hamsters.
All right, Toby, hero 0 or 10X Ultimate 0?
What if Tuffy would have got hit by that reckless driver?
Exactly.
In the arms of the angels.
Yeah, I got to go 0 right there.
0 right there.
That's just way wrong.
You suck.
I got to go 0.
All right, so it's going to be -10 more for Angelica.
I'm sure there's got to be reasoning behind that, like betrayal and whatnot. Maybe just grown farther apart, but still, it's a 0. It's terrible. Circles shouldn't shrink; they should grow.
Is that your geography lesson for the day, Redkowski?
I think a circle can get smaller. I believe in that.
All right. So what do you go?
Wait, what's the question again?
3 out of 4 Americans.
What a dumpster fire we got going on here.
3 out of 4 Americans over 55 admit that their social circle has shrunk as they've gotten older.
Yes.
They have 4 friends that they can count on.
10X Ultimate Hero.
All right, 10X Ultimate Hero. And I'm going to agree with Angelica on this one. Sometimes this last year has really been like a not just a fact-finding, but a friend-finding journey for me. And my circle has shrunk just a little bit, but it's also filled up with some great people as well. So I get what you're saying, Angelica.
Yeah.
Toby, hero or 0? Or 10X Ultimate Hero?
Yeah, I gotta go 0 right there. Circles shouldn't get smaller; they should get bigger.
You suck.
Redkowski, you ever feel like you're getting mocked?
Well, mockery is one of the forms of flattery.
You may be entitled to immense compensation. Hero. I hide all my relatives under my roof.
All right.
In the attic.
Well, yeah, I guess it could be in the attic too. I didn't check there.
0. I don't.
All right. So what do you say, Angelica?
I said you shouldn't let your relatives be homeless.
All right. So that's going to make it a -4 to -2 this morning.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
All right.
How did Angelica get 10 points?
Wait, you didn't hear
Where
the blessing?
Where you been, Redkowski? All right. Angelica, hero or 0?
Well, I think I'm going to go with hero because what a brave young woman. That was way wrong. Way wrong. I'm going.
All right, Toby, hero or 0 this morning?
Or 10X 10x Ultimate Zero.
No, I forgot about what Rikowski said.
Yeah.
10, hero or zero?
10x Ultimate Zero, because that's about injustice.
By golly.
All right, so that's going to be 4 to 3. All right. So Angelica's beating you. Are you getting beat by? You're beating Angelica by 1 now, Redkowski. So
I'm going hero.
okay.
Zero. Who the hell cares? This study seems bunk.
All right, 0 from Toby.
Hero because animals have rights.
All right, Toby, hero or zero?
0 TMI. Who came up with this study?
All right, so that's going to be 5 to 4 now. Angelica's winning.
Wait, whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Man, I tell you what, you've come along. You're far back there, Angelica.
Wow.
I honestly couldn't. I can't believe it. I didn't think I was gonna win.
Yeah, I can't believe this.
This means a lot to me.
I've just been watching this. Like, it doesn't seem like it's right.
Wow.
I don't know if my math's right here. It doesn't seem like it is.
No, it's not right. It's never right.
You got to carry a 1 or something?
I don't know.
Michaela math. It doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to.
It's abstract math.
You're abstract.
Picasso.
All right, last one here. Angelica, hero or zero?
10x Ultimate Zero. I totally agree with Brad.
And that's going to do it. Radkowski has been defeated.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead.
We're going to look.
And when
so
Michaela
I brought this to the game last week.
finagled away for the intern to win,
Heads,
Toby then
switch. Tails, they stay the
pulled
same.
out a coin and
But then
flipped
what's
it,
the point of hero zero if it's
I'm
based
ready.
on the coin?
and then determined that she lost, trying to get her shocked.
They switch. Rad, congratulations, buddy. Ha!
Actually, let me look at this math
Everybody
real quick.
gets a ribbon today.
All right, there you go, y'all. That's hero or zero. I don't know who the winner is. I mean, if we're going by the technical terms,
Me.
now the technical terms, if I do the math correctly, now that I noticed that I had some problems here with my math.
So he was leading originally.
With my
and
mathemacating?
switched. Now she won. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what happened, Radkowski. So I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
Michaela saved her from the wheel of torture, protected her, the way she always protected vulnerable people. The intern filed a complaint. Shriner University received the video. Toby Appleton would remember this moment, and he would wait. 4 days later, out of nowhere, Taylor's family split up. Everything she had been working for was now gone. The future she'd been building with her family, non-existent. It broke her. Leslie McClure showed up out of nowhere 2 days later while Michaela was having a panic attack in her driveway and consoled her. But now she was on her own, in Texas, with no community except her Jam family. In October 2022, the week after Jam Broadcasting won Business of the Year, after Michaela wrote a raving letter to them about Justin McClure, Taylor was struggling. She needed time, space, and help.
This is hard. This is hard. Uh, 8:23 is the time.
About 70 degrees out there and cloudy.
62.
Wet.
Pretty close, though, Redkowski. You're only 8 degrees off. Over the past 6 weeks, I've had to do a lot of soul searching. I spent a lot of time alone over these past 6 weeks. Some of those times have been really rough for me.
6 weeks ago, I had everything I wanted in life. And then all that changed with no warning. And, you know, you imagine something as your perfect snow globe, you know, and every once in a while you get some snow in that snow globe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's pretty, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But then other times, and it's like the worst thing ever, you know, that for me, my snow globe got shattered. And it was my everything. You know, it was everything to me. It was everything that I worked for. It was everything that I loved. And it just got shattered. And Tuesday morning, I was, and if y'all been following my journey, you know, I've been transitioning since December of last year. Finally got the guts to come out, you know. And Tuesday morning, I got up and I just couldn't get off the couch. I couldn't think. I couldn't put any thoughts together. I've been sober for over 8 years. And I couldn't think. I couldn't put any thoughts together. And I couldn't eat. And I spent like 10 hours on the couch. Just no TV on. No music on.
Just utter silence.
And it was just like a mental block that I had. And I just can't go on like that. You know, I can't do that anymore. So I made a decision Tuesday, and it's going to be tough. And you know, our listeners out there, just know that I do love you, and I am grateful for you. And everybody that's been great to me this past year, and not so great, I'm grateful for you too. I'm grateful for everybody. You've either been a lesson or a blessing. And I'm sorry to say this, but Tuesday is going to be last morning mayhem. I'm going to go get lost for a while and figure myself out. And I just want to say I'm grateful to everybody in this area.
I've got to say, man, it stings a little bit. You know, I was telling you off air that, I mean, it's like a family member.
I understand it.
It's like,
I understand when, you know,
yeah.
I understand that feeling.
I mean,
Coach.
we're losing somebody that we care a lot about.
You're not losing me though. Like,
we kind of are.
I mean, in some ways.
This is why I'll liken it to, you know, your kid going off to college. You know, you'll still keep in touch with them, but I mean, It's never the same. They're not with you every day. You know,
this area is my home. I consider this area my home.
Yeah.
Like more than any other place I've ever lived in my life. You know, and the people here are my people. Like, who would have thought, you know, Michaela Taylor, or a transgender woman in Kerrville, Texas, with the community just supporting her and embracing her the way that they have here. You know, it's really been amazing. And I'm just so grateful for that. I am. You know, but at the same time, I can't sit in that house anymore and do that.
Yeah.
You know, I just can't do it anymore. And, you know, I started thinking, I was like, what if I did just start over somewhere?
You did that when you came here.
I did. I've done it before.
Yeah, you have.
You know, what if I did just start over somewhere and start fresh where nobody knows me and just learn to be myself? That's one thing that I've never done, is just learn to be myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm still chained to my old ways. You know, because every time I'm around people, they knew me back in the day. You know, so it's like, I'm not a faker.
Way back in the day.
I'm being more genuine than I ever have now. but I don't want to be like I'm just trying to figure things out here.
Yeah.
About myself, still, you know, and unfortunately, to me, it seems like the only way I can do that is to do what I'm doing. You know, so, and I can't just sit there in that house like that anymore. So, I want to give some shout outs this morning.
What a weird show already.
I know, that was the wrong button. Like the worst.
I wasn't expecting anything like that. Oh, my God.
I want to give some shout outs this morning. Big shout out to Jam Broadcasting.
Yeah.
This place has had my back so much over this past year. There was no question. It was no nothing. It's like your family. We love you no matter what. We love you unconditionally. And they still have my back. And it's just amazing. Radkowski, love you, buddy.
Hey, I love you too.
Yeah, I do. I love you, buddy. Like, need anything, call me, dude.
Hey, I understand completely that you're trying to get out of your cocoon, but you can't do it in a place where
it's my cocoon. Yeah.
Where people have known you for a long, long time. And I can understand if you need to go to Sandier Pastures or something, but...
Sandier Pastures?
You did not.
Did you really just say Sandier Pastures?
Well, I can't really say greener pastures because I know where you're officially going.
Yeah.
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 J-Rad, this was a serious moment. Why did you do that?
Yeah, why would you do that, right, Kowski? Come on, dude.
I'm being a realist here.
All right, I was just joking about thanking Radkowski. No, I'm just playing. I want to say that I'm grateful for Justin McClure and Leslie McClure here.
Yeah.
You talk about two stand-up people that care about this community.
Yeah, they really do.
Just as much or more than anybody I've ever seen in my life. They put their entire lives into this community, and it's so amazing to watch. I mean, they just run constantly helping people out in this community any way they can. And not expecting anything in return. Just doing it, just to do it, just to help, just to be a blessing to this community. And this community has been a blessing to us here at Jam Broadcasting, too. Big shout out to Coach Keller. You know, he comes in here every morning with the sports. I love that guy. Michelle, JR, Gabby, Ed, K9, Angela, Mike, the whole Jam fam. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. Carrie Burgess, Dr. Doppler.
Cody.
I say Cody.
Oh.
No, I had Cody. Cody, I love you, dude.
Yeah.
I had Cody listed third on here, so I wouldn't miss anybody. And then you were here, so I actually had you after Cody. I ended up skipping Cody.
I mean, good night. You're leaving the way you came in with a big laugh, man. I mean, that's that's awesome.
I also want to give a shout out to the Kerrville Chamber of Commerce. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, huge shout out to the Kerrville Chamber of Commerce and the city of Kerrville. They've both been incredible, you know, and everybody else around here. And I want to give the biggest shout out to our listeners that stuck around.
Absolutely.
You know, because I came out about this back in December, and it was scary.
I can imagine.
It was terrifying. And I also want to give a shout out to our sponsors that all stuck around, except that one who just happens to be, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. No, but there wasn't that one. No, all of our sponsors stuck around, all the advertisers out there. It's incredible. And I wish I could just keep coming in here and doing the Morning Mayhem every morning. Because I love this show.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
I know you do.
Yeah, I love this show, but I gotta love myself more enough to overcome what I'm going through. You know, yeah, and I'm going to. And sometimes in life, you gotta take big leaps.
Wow, well, this one's huge.
Yeah, this is.
You know, it's not as big as the leap I took last year.
That's a good point.
You know,
Well,
And,
I can tell you this. You're pretty much jumping over the Gulf at this point, going towards the Atlantic.
Pretty much. Yeah. Going for sandier pastures, Radkowski.
Hey, again, realist here. Realist.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. And thank you so much for supporting me during my time in the Texas Hill Country. It means so much to me. And I will forever, ever, ever be grateful for that. So let's jump into a quick break. We have Coach of Sports coming up here in just a second. Keep it locked right here on Mike FM.
We live in this crazy time, and I think that when you can show love, unconditional love, to someone, it'll change not only their life, it will change you, you know?
Oh, yes.
You know, so do that. If you get the opportunity to do that for somebody. Do that for yourself.
She gave Leslie McClure temporary admin access to her Facebook platforms to keep the community involved while she stepped back. Admin access, not ownership. There's a difference. These platforms weren't personal property. They were member interest in a Texas limited liability company, Golden Hills Marketing, LLC, registered to Michaela Taylor. That LLC was still in forfeiture status, legally frozen, which meant one thing. The platforms couldn't be sold, they couldn't be gifted, they couldn't be transferred, not without reinstating the LLC, filing proper documentation, and completing the transfer agreements required by Texas law. None of that happened. At their kitchen table, Justin and Leslie McClure made a promise. If you come back, of course, you can have them back. Taylor would quote those words for years because she believed them.
Cool. All right, so here we go. It's going to go to Rad first. It's going to be 10 times shock, hero or zero this morning. Whoever loses has to take the shock collar 10 times in a row. So it's going to be you, Rad. Sorry.
It should be 31.
Yeah, it should be 31.
No.
It's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and fire this up right now.
And now it's time for Hero or Zero.
Carry on, citizen. Our job is done.
On 99.1 Mike FM.
What a way to go out.
Wow, what a way to go out.
Coach, you have to come over here so
Holy moly.
10 times.
Make sure it's good and snug. That way you can feel it.
Snug like a bug, right?
Yep, and thank you, Big Liz. I appreciate the birthday wish.
Oh, my God.
All right, if we're going to do this, Rakowski.
Yeah. I didn't do anything. Not yet.
You didn't do anything?
Nope, sure didn't.
You didn't hit the vibrate button on that one?
Well, there's the vibrate.
Okay.
What you were saying?
Just go! Just go!
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Red. Happy birthday to me. That's only 4. And many more.
Son! Just get over with!
9, 10.
Booyah!
Wow.
Michaela looks like she needs to have her blood pressure taken. We're scaring Aunt King when you need her.
In November, Taylor left for Florida. A breakdown, a crisis, running from everything. She had no chance in a fight, so she chose flight. She needed some time, and that's what she told the McClures on October 26, 2022 at their kitchen table. The McClures promised to keep her platform safe. While in Florida, she closed a $36,000 deal for the Carlson law firm. Taylor ended up living out of hostels in a storage unit while in Florida before being given a place to stay for 3 months by a wonderful woman and her wife who would console her every day at first and then completely revive her within 3 months. Taylor reached out to Justin McClure about the platforms. Would you be interested in having KBN 30K members and TBN page 46K members outright forever with me gone as an admin? I'm not ready to completely let go of it yet, but I could be for a pretty reasonable price. She was offering to sell. You can only sell what you own. Justin's response was revealing. Man, I'm struggling right now. First quarter is busting my ass. I thought we already had KBN. I thought you gave us that when you left. I thought, not we do, not you gave us. He wasn't sure, because no transfer had ever happened. Because no transfer could happen. The LLC was in forfeiture. The assets were locked. Taylor responded, I tell you what, I'm just going to remove myself as admin from both pages. They are yours. You're struggling, I'm struggling. It's just the crazy ride we're on called life. They are yours. Sounds like ownership, right? But look at the full sentence. I'm just going to remove myself as admin. She's talking about admin access, not ownership. Also, Kerrville Breaking News is a group, not a page. I sent you an invite for TBN admin access. You and Leslie are the only admins on KBN, plus Tammy as a moderator. As soon as you accept the admin on TBN, I'll jump off of there too. Admin, admins, moderator, admin access, jump off. Every word in this conversation is about platform roles. Who can post, who can approve, who can manage. Not one word about ownership, not one word about transfer, not one word about the LLC that Justin was aware of. Giving someone your car keys doesn't transfer the title. Giving someone your Netflix password doesn't make them the owner of the account. And giving someone admin access doesn't make them the owner of your business. Earlier in January, Justin had loaned Michaela $1,500 due to a family circumstance back in Texas. After the February conversation, Justin said, "Give me a week to see how my new sales lady does. I'll see if I can help you more." Erase the $1,500 also. I wish I could do more. The $1,500 that he'd loaned her, forgiven, in writing, in February 2023. But forgiving a debt isn't buying an asset, and granting admin access isn't transferring ownership. On February 16th, 2024, in a notorious case, JLM Couture Inc. versus Haley Page Gutman, the Second Circuit held that analyzing social media ownership should begin by determining the original owner and should continue with a determination of whether ownership had transferred to another party. If a claimant is not the original owner and cannot locate their claim in a chain of valid transfers, they do not own the account. Soon after, Haley Page Gutman had her social media accounts back. April 2023, Austin, Texas. Taylor had a new apartment, and that's when she asked for her platforms back. Can I have the Texas Breaking News page back? I don't want KBN or any of the groups, only the TBN page. I'm relaunching it in Austin. Then, actually, I need all of my groups and pages back. Texas, Kerrville, Fred, and Bandera. Y'all knew it and told me I could have them back if I came back, and I'm back. I spent over 5 years of my life building those groups and pages. A few hours later, Michaela received a phone call. On the way to her kid's soccer game in Kerrville, she was wearing a Jam Broadcasting t-shirt. Justin agreed to return access to the Texas Breaking News page, but withheld access to the news groups. He held the groups hostage for $1,500, the same debt he'd forgiven in writing 2 months earlier. Unforgiven, weaponized. Meanwhile, Justin was cashing $3,000 checks every month from Carlson Law Firm, the client Taylor had brought to Jam Broadcasting to begin with. The deal she closed on November 2nd, 2022. Her commission on that deal should have been $5,400. The amount that she received was zero. They demanded $1,500 from her, while keeping $5,400 that belonged to her, while cashing checks from her client every single month. While Taylor was fighting for her life, something was happening in Kerrville. Remember September 7th, 2022, the game show? The intern Michaela protected? Schreiner University had reviewed the video. Before Michaela went to Florida, she had also been truthful on the intern's review and gave the intern accurate praise. Because to Michaela, what is right is more important than who is right. In June 2023, Toby Appleton suddenly left Schreiner University.
I was at Schreiner for 9 years. Absolutely adore that university. It's my alma mater. And I will scream Schreiner University's successes from the mountaintops for the rest of my life. But it was time for, personally, it was time for a change. The stressors of the job, running that marketing department over there, it just got to be, frankly, too much for me. It was impacting personal life and family life, so I needed to make a change. So mid-June, I decided, without a plan B, surprisingly, and my wife wasn't too happy about that, I turned in my resignation letter to Schreiner, finished out the month with them, and in that 2-week period of time, Justin McClure and I sat down as friends, not even applying for a job necessarily, and Leslie came in and jokingly said, are you here to apply for a job? And I had just told Justin that I was leaving Schreiner University, and Leslie didn't know anything about it. She was joking. And I said, I might just be. And all three of us got happy and had a conversation.
2 weeks later, Jam Broadcasting hired him. The man who had tried to humiliate Michaela's intern. The man who blamed Michaela for the end of his 6-figure prestigious career. Now he worked for the people who had access to her platforms. September 13th, 2023, the Kerrville Podcast. The one Michaela built with John Barrera. 93 episodes together. Now, Toby Appleton was the guest. He didn't mention the complaint. He didn't mention the video. He didn't mention Michaela. But he did recommend a book to John Barrera.
At least twice a year.
I'll give you one.
Give me one, man.
A book titled Locking Arms.
Is it a long one?
I will show you the book in my office when we're off.
Oh, you have it? I was going to put it in my phone.
And it's about male friendships and the importance of those male friendships, physically and psychologically, and how to maintain those friendships.
Then he cold stared John, fingers interlaced, a message without words. This is a brotherhood now. She's out. After Toby joined Jam, John Barrera, who was power washing driveways before he met Michaela, deleted every podcast episode Michaela had recorded with him. 93 episodes. Her voice, her work, erased. And Toby? Well, he had a new friend. Chief of Police, Chris McCall. Holy smoke.